Hey friends, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about Alex Hormozi. He is an entrepreneur and business owner, basically helps businesses grow, start in business. He does a lot of free videos he puts out there and content, but also free books and whatnot. So give him a follow. I'm sure you do already, but today I wanted to go into his Twitter feed. In his Twitter feed, he basically posts notes and messages to himself, but obviously it's an incredible wealth of knowledge for the rest of us to glean from. So I went ahead and picked three that I really liked, and these are either ones that I have personal insights around or ones that I want to do myself, start to improve and better myself in these ways. And so I just wanted to pick top three and kind of talk about them in depth. So let's jump in. In the first one, he says, it's not hard to wake up early if you don't stay out late, invest money if you don't spend it on stupid shit, eat healthy if junk food isn't in your house. You don't need to be a genius to win. You just need to stick with the obvious choices more than a fucking week. I really like this. There's a few of them that I feel like I already do a good job with, and others that I can do a better job with. This actually reminds me of just a quote that Einstein said. I'm going to butcher in a little bit here, but he said something along the lines of, it's not that I'm smarter than everyone else, it's just that I stick with the problem longer. Basically what they're both talking about here is long-term consistency. Winning is not a short-term race, it's a long-term race, it's a marathon. If you can do these kind of simple things over the course of a long term, right, more than a week, as Alex is saying, that's how you start to accumulate and win ultimately. For me, I've talked about my sleeping regimen and kind of my work routine. This year, I feel like I'm having the most productive year that I've ever had. And honestly, I don't go out late. I basically stay in almost every night. I just make sure I get the sleep that I need, and it helps me wake up in the morning, and that is like a catalyst for the rest of my day. And I feel like I've been more productive and healthy since I've been able to do that. Invest in money if you don't spend it on stupid shit. This is a big one as well. So for me, I have a portion of my paycheck, multiple portions of my paycheck go to different investment accounts that I have, and I don't even see that money. It literally, I don't even factor it into the things that I need to purchase or want to purchase or whatever. That money is gone. That's helped me so much and accrue money for the long term. But I also feel like I still have money to do in the short term. It's not like all of my money just kind of goes away. Eat healthy if junk food isn't in your house. This is what I need to do a better job of. And I know that the moment I bring in a bag of chips into the house, it's gonna take me not too long to go through them. That one is definitely one I can do a better job of. This one I really like. It's basically saying consistency over the long term. Do the obvious stuff consistently, and those will have the biggest impact on your life. Next one I really liked is you can win or you can play to leave no doubt. The first considers the playing field. The second, you compete against yourself. You break your own records. It was never about them. Single player game, one controller, different energy. This one I really love. I've always tried to make sure that I don't compare myself to other people, even though honestly that has been something that has driven me a lot. I try to catch up. I've talked about in prior videos where I feel like I'm so far behind that I need to catch up. But there's another part of me that's hey, I know I'm really good at my job, but how can I get even better? I have found more fulfillment out of the latter, where I'm improving over myself and I'm not really comparing or think about how I stack up to other people. For me, that has just made me kind of happier, but it's also been, I think, a cleaner drive for me or thing that drives me. This one I really like. They always say comparison is the thief of joy, and I think a lot of people get into the trap of comparing themselves to other people. That just sucks the life out of you. So everyone has different circumstances. Everyone has different things that have happened to them in their life that made them ahead or behind or anything, right? Comparing yourself to someone else is completely futile. This one I really liked. Compete against yourself. Who cares about anyone else? Ultimately, at the end of the day, that's the only kind of race that matters. The next one, the last one for the video, he says, losing leads to learning. Learning leads to winning. Winning leads to complacency. Complacency leads to losing. This was a really good one, and he's kind of describing the vicious cycle. This happens a lot with sports teams. You have the complacent kings at the top. They feel like they don't need to work as hard, or even if they are working really hard, the people climbing the hill are a lot hungrier just by nature. The way I like to think about this is there's no real end state for myself. I don't see myself hitting a point where I'm just okay, I'm done. This is the amount of work I want to do. This is the level of impact that I want to have. There is no ceiling And so I feel like personally, I have this hunger that is insatiable. Like it will not get to a point where I'm at the top of the mountain and I'm like, okay, yeah, I've won. Like it's kind of all gravy from here. It's like, no, there's always different ways I can push myself, different ways I can drive impact and whatnot. And I've always said, like, at least for working on Halo, like if I get to a point where, you know, I've maxed out the impact that I could possibly have, you know, then I would consider like the mission it could be complete and I would probably move to like a different field entirely. But I'm nowhere near that happening. So for me, giving myself that feeling of being the wolf climbing the hill, climbing the mountain, whatever the analogy is, it just keeps you way hungrier, I feel like, than, you know, others. And as long as I keep pushing myself, I'll keep climbing up that mountain. And regardless of what anyone does, as long as I keep improving and feel like I'm pushing myself in further, then, you know, that will make me happy in the long run. Well, that's gonna do it for today's video. Shout out to Alex Hormozi's awesome follow on really any platform that he's on. Just a wealth of information. So that's gonna do it for today, and I'll see you guys later.